Hello, everybody, and we are playing board games. Myself, Bryn, and Travis. We're going to be continuing our player card reviews for Edge of the Earth. We're going to talk about all the Guardian cards in today's video, and it's going to be a great time. We're going to say why we think the cards are good, why we think they're okay, why they might be bad, and then also to kind of talk about where we feel like the cards have the best home. Because one thing about this game is that like cards have places where they fit, they have places where they don't fit, and there's like, it's very rarely to find a card that's just like outright bad. They exist, but all cards have their place where they can shine. So we're going to try to also kind of pinpoint where those spots are for these cards. So let's dive in. I also just got to say, for some reason, my intro felt really weird. I introduced it in a very strange way. I've never said like our names. So I'm like, something's wrong here. Like a ghost walked in the room. But we're going to start with butterfly swords. So there is a level 2 version, a 3-cost item, weapon, melee asset that takes up 2 hand slots. It commits for a fist and a foot. As an action, fight. You get +1 fist for this attack. After this attack, you may exhaust butterfly swords to fight again, adding your foot to your skill value for that attack. That attack deals +1 damage. As an action on the level 5 version, which still costs 3, still takes up 2 hand slots, also commits for a wild. So action, fight, you get +2 fist for this attack. After this attack, you may fight again, adding your foot to your skill value for that attack. If both attacks are successful, you may exhaust butterfly swords to have the second attack deal +1 damage. So I actually want to start this one with Bryn, because you were never hot on this card. Is that feeling kind of still the same? Are you still just kind of like lukewarm on butterfly swords?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't see the world where I'd ever want to pay that much XP for the effect. Uh, like if I'm paying 2 XP for a melee weapon, I can do better. Because it doesn't do it only does bonus damage once in a turn.
Yeah.
Admittedly, if you pass both tests, it does do 3 damage for one action. But I'm not sold on the idea that that's a great place for it to be. You know.
What about you, Travis? What do you feel about butterfly swords?
I do think the level 2 one is like a little underwhelming, but I like the level 5 one. I think pretty good. Yeah, like it's a neat weapon. I haven't had the opportunity to play with it either, but I think it's good, but not great.
And I also like I'm stuck on it a bit too, because I feel like it's hard to recommend. Like the numbers get big, but it's hard to recommend this one like when you get to the higher difficulties, because you're just taking so many tests, right? Like you to get the full value out of this, assuming you fight with it your whole turn, like that's 6 attacks, right? That's 6 token pulls, and that's a lot of tests on the higher difficulties. I think like on like even like on easy and standard, like the less tests you can take, obviously the better, and like that's where like machete and stuff gets really nice, because it's just like damage, right? Or like the higher end weapons too. And this one, it's like, to me, like this one's kind of like more flavorful than it is like a very strong weapon. I like the level 5 version. I think is neat, and I want to play with it. But like, to be honest, whenever I've been looking at building my decks, it always just gets outclassed by another weapon, right? Like I'm like, I can get butterfly swords, or I can even just buy upgraded survival knife, and I'm like, this is just more efficient and better than butterfly swords for me right now.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I think we're all just kind of like lukewarm on butterfly swords. Can you guys see a home for it? I like just really
Yeah,
can't.
I think it's like a fine option. I think in like Mark Harrigan, he's got 3 foot. It's obviously fine for Lily, like the character it was designed for.
I could see it also like if we get more, because Bryn and I were looking at like expose weakness effects that like last for your turn, right? Like if you can lower an enemy's fight, like this does kind of go up a bit, because you can deal out a lot of damage, right? But
Yeah,
other than that, I can't really
yeah.
see a spot for this guy right now.
Yeah, the level 2 one, like maybe for skids, but you got to pass that punch test. for it to start getting good.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because then you're just like fail the first one, but then just come in from the bottom. Yeah. You already retaliated against me, but that's okay. Yeah. All right. Next up here, we got combat training. This is a level 3 zero cost talent composer asset. Composure, I can speak. Soaks for 3 damage and 1 horror. It's fast. Limit 1 composure in play. You get +1 fist and +1 foot. Non-direct damage and a horror must be assigned to combat training before it can be assigned to your investigator card. Spend a resource, you get +1 fist or +1 foot for this skill test. It also commits for 2 fists and 2 feet. So I like these composures. But for some reason, in my mind with this blue one, I'm like not as intrigued by it. And I don't really know why that is. But like zero cost for +1 fist and +1 foot. Like obviously, like you use this with the butterfly swords, it makes those attacks better. There's a lot of experience. But like if you look at it, just if you want the stats, it is a pretty good bang for its buck, and you also don't need to play it until you have other soak out, and then it like gets much better. Because if you play it with just this and you take a horror, you're like, that sucks. But if you have other things that soak already in play, combat training is like, it will never leave play. It'll just stay forever.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's like the thing that makes this one not so desirable is that the foot is next to useless for blue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not quite useless, but pretty close.
Yeah, because really right now, all they're, off the top of my head is, I mean, it might just be because I just talked about it, but like butterfly swords, right?
Yeah, it's probably pretty fine in certain campaigns that have cards that require you to test foot to get either out of them or discard them or what have you.
Yeah, kind of like, even like a it could be good in the Return to Circle Undone because there's some very important foot tests you want to pass there. Yeah. Travis, any thoughts on this guy?
I think all these composures are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
This one is like a little bit weird because the ones that are good typically have 2 stats that you care about. And like if you want the plus punch to kill things, you generally don't care quite so much about the foot.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a little bit awkward that this one's like 3 hearts and 1 brain, which is a little bit like not what you want in soak.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's still good.
Yeah, it's still very good. It's just still a stat bonus for 0 and fast and 3 experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's just a little bit strange. All right, what do we got next? Defensive Stance. This is a 1-cost practiced expert skill. While defensive stance is in your hand or committed to a skill test, it gains fist icons equal to your foot and foot icons equal to your fist. I imagine you can kind of just like copy kind of what we said about the other one here. Like if you're in a skill, like if your foot is low and your fist is high, which it probably is because you're a guardian, this is a huge boost to your foot for those tests. And if you need to pass them, run this in your campaign, right? Like if you really need to pass a foot test because your campaign's asking for it, this is going to give you a lot of icons because you're probably good with your fist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's kind of like going to be like what we say for the majority of these expert practiced ones because they're just like skills with a lot of numbers, like a lot of symbols on them. That's all kind of like all they are. So if you need them, run them. All right. Upgraded Dodge, level 2. A 0-cost tactic event. Commits for a brain and a foot. Fast. Play when an enemy attacks an investigator at your location. Cancel that attack, then test foot 1. If you succeed, deal 1 damage to that enemy. So like all these cards that you're here for like I know someone in the comments is going to say, no, I use that one. But like this is for the foot stance for Lily Chen that you usually put in last, right? Well, second last. That's what like all these cards are here for, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Any thoughts on this upgraded dodge?
It's a little awkward
Mhm.
because you know who can't play it.
Yes, yeah. For people who don't know, that's Daniela.
Also, Rita can't play it.
Yep. Oh yeah, Rita would like that. Yeah, it is kind of just like a weird like when we first started playing Dodge was like one of my it was just so nice like because we played it a bunch and it was all like, hey, don't worry Travis, I'll save you, here's a dodge, and then everyone's like yay, or like here Justin, here's a dodge, and we're like yay, we've done it. But now at this point like enemies aren't that scary, so even this upgraded one I'm like I'm probably never gonna play this one. And like I mean it's fine, right? Like the things on the card are good, but it's not really that necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great in Rita. It'd be great in Daniela if they can run it, but they can't. Yeah. Well, let's dodge right past this card and get to the next one, which is the Fang of Tier. This is a 3-cost, 4 experience spell event. Commits for fist, foot, fight. Choose an enemy at any revealed location as the target for this attack. Before resolving this attack, you may move to that enemy's location. Add your foot to your fist value for this attack. This attack deals +3 damage. Travis, you've played with this card, so I'll throw this one to you first.
It's really good to use it. It feels good. It feels cool. You usually kill whatever you're attacking because like 4 damage is a lot. Is it worth 3 resources and 4 experience to like potentially throw away to an auto fail or just like drawing the wrong token? Maybe not, but card's really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to justify building a deck around it. It's like it's a spell, which is it's nice for if you're building a more spell based Lily, because you can dig it out with Arcane this shit. I think. No, I'm not gonna say it until I look it up. No, it's just adding your foot to your fist isn't great for a lot of investigators, but there's a couple of investigators that it is quite good for.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, you can't. Disaster.
What about you, Bryn? What are your thoughts on this guy?
My favorite part about it is playing it in a Nathaniel Cho deck. Like a lot of the Lily Chen cards, where you're just like, you show up in the ring and you're boxing your opponent and suddenly he teleports behind you and stabs you with a really big tooth. Like, fuck is that?
He just has he has some advanced level tactics in the ring.
Yeah.
It's a winning play, Bryn.
Yeah.
It is a winning play.
That's called the move of a champion.
Yeah. You think someone would do that and then just lose the fight?
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, I'm with like the general consensus. The card is both fun and also like all the text on it is good. It is a little bit of like you just don't buy this card because you're like, I know this card looks fun. Like you generally like have like some sort of plan for it, but even then the card just does a lot. You could just whiff and then that kind of sucks. But if you don't whiff, you're going to kill what you hit. And that's kind of what you want from a kill spell. And it also moves you across the board. Like, you also don't even need to move to it, right? Like, this also can just kill something that, using it on an Acolyte far away that's going to cause the agenda to advance is, like, not your dream use of this spell, but it still has that function, right? Like, it still can just kill something that you need dead right now, unless it has aloof, of course.
Then what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you can't kill a whippoorwill with this. That damn bird, you'll never catch him. All right, let's go to Gang Up, a synergy card. 3 cost, 1 experience, spirit synergy event, commits for a brain and a fist. As an action, you fight. For each different class among cards you control, you get +1 fist and deal +1 damage for this attack. All right, so with all these synergy cards, we need to find out what is the level that you feel happy with the bonus. Like, what are you looking for on this one that you're, like, satisfied?
Like 2.
2?
If you're getting
Like, this is
+2, I think it's good.
Yeah, it's like, this is like, I'm not a huge fan of these synergy cards, but this one's like good.
I think this one and the Seeker one is also pretty powerful. Yeah. Yeah, because 3, it's like even just like looking at like the Fang, right? Like if we go back, right? Like this one has the movement, has a lot more of that, but it's just like only 1 experience, 3 cost. You have 2, get +2 fist, deal +2 damage. That's nice. It also has some great freaking flavor text, which is you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. This poor ghoul, he's like, "Rawr!" And then they're just like, fucking die! Kill this thing! Yeah, cool card. Even outside of synergy. Like, I think what really, for these synergy cards, my thought process on them is if I want to run them, and they're easy to make work, and I don't need to build a bad synergy deck, and I can just put them in a normal deck and do great with it, that's a good sign. Ooh, Geared Up. This is permanent. Limit 1 per deck. Purchase a deck creation. It's a talent asset. Forced. When your first turn of the game begins, play any number of item assets from your hand, reducing the cost of each by 1. During this turn, you have 3 fewer actions to take. I believe, someone might let me know if I am wrong in this, but the general consensus right now is there was thought that maybe this worked with Backpack, but this does not work with Backpack. That's the general consensus. I believe it is now. So like the thought process was that if you played a Backpack with this, you can continue playing things from your Backpack with it, but I believe you can't do that, which I think makes this a lot harder to get going, and it's really depending on your mulligan, and you need a lot of items to be in play. And then the question is, like, why don't you just, like, do a stick to the plan with an Ever Vigilant? It costs more experience, but it's more consistent, and you can still take a turn if you have a bad mulligan. I don't think this has, like, an exciting home yet, and I think it's kind of, like, not great, but what do you guys think?
I got no problem with punting my turn away.
I got a problem with Brent punting his turn away.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I'm only sad that I didn't buy this in my Bob Jenkins deck by taking In the Thick of It and Versatile with my deck creation.
There was a video where we joked about someone taking In the Thick of It to grab Versatile, to grab Geared Up, and then Travis was like, we were joking, and Travis was like, never do that. And someone in our Discord was like, I have done that. And they were like, don't tell Travis. And he probably heard because he's already like knocking on their door right now. But yeah. I think this would be fun in Bob if he could run it without having to make his deck worse, right? But like there's no really Guardian person that can, like, is there someone right now who can, like, really benefit from this?
Will York.
Yeah?
Probably.
Probably? Yeah, probably will. I mean, like, they're probably going to be a survivor investigator, right? Like, that's kind of how it is. But even then, like, well, it's any number of assets. So, like, assuming you have your dream hand of, like, what, teddy bear, jacket, weapon, Schaffner's catalog, something else? You get to pick 5 things? Like, isn't that even still, like, that crazy? Like, isn't it better for Will York to just, like, play them out of the discard pile?
Maybe. But this makes them cheaper.
It does make them cheaper, it's true.
And that's often a bit of an issue. I think it really depends, like, what sort of items it is that you're actually trying to play.
Yeah. Travis, could you imagine running this at all in any home right now, or no?
I'd probably play it in Parallel Daisy, because my deck's going to be trash anyway. I could see it in like maybe like a Tommy Muldoon deck
Hmm.
where you have a whole bunch of items. Sister Mary tends to play a big pile of items as
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
There's a handful of places, but I think that it would make for some really awkward mulligans. And, honestly, I probably personally wouldn't play it because I don't think that the benefit is worth how much I'd have to think about it.
Hmm.
But I wouldn't. There are a couple places where someone was like, "Hey, I'm playing this deck." You'd be like, "Yeah, okay."
Cool.
I don't think it's unplayable.
Sick. Yeah, that's kind of where I am too. I can't find a home for me for it yet, but someone else who this is their style, who likes assets, will definitely find a home for it. Okay, get behind me. Fast. This is a zero cost spirit tactic event. Commits for a fist and a brain. Fast. Play during any lightning bolt window until the end of the phase. Whenever an enemy would attack another investigator location, it attacks you instead, then engages you. Cancel one horror dealt by each attack made this way. Obviously good in Daniela. Obviously good in Tommy Muldoon. And if you're a tank, this card's going to do its job, but you're probably going to upgrade out of it eventually, I imagine, because
My
it's.
dad's been playing this one in his Daniela deck, and I've been very impressed by it actually.
Oh no, I because even in the two games we've played, it does a lot of work for Danielle. It's like very good in Daniela.
Not even just Daniela, like just the turns they had. Like he didn't have to be playing Daniela.
Mhm.
Um, it's like just just you're playing. We're playing with or three other people. You know, two of them are engaged with enemies. You just go like you play this, and you're hey, just do whatever on your turn, and then
Mhm.
I don't have to waste my actions getting the monsters. This card,
Definitely.
one of those cards that combos very well with Sledgehammer Justin.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, and I imagine I like this is an event you can actually build around quite a bit with cards like Flamethrower and the grenades or Dynamite,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Yeah, just everyone walks
Um,
away. You just see get behind me, then you just start roasting. Does seem sick.
yeah, or like in one of them Garbo warning shot decks or whatever, where you can like one of them, warning shot Dynamite decks where you can be like, yeah, you guys just go do whatever, and then I'll scare off the enemies.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll ship them all back there, plop down a barricade, and they're gone.
Hmm.
On forever.
And then you can just hit the choke point.
Yeah, I think it needs some kind of plan at least though for like what you're gonna do with that damage, but like I wouldn't just put this in.
It's not hard to
Yeah, it's not hard to figure that
deal
out, but
with.
this isn't just something. It's like by no means like something you just put in your
Oh
Guardian
no, you have
deck.
to have
That's like your 29th and 30th cards. You're gonna want something that like helps you with that damage, but not much. It doesn't need much at all. I agree with that.
no, like actually very impressed by this card.
Sick. All right. Next up here, we got On the Hunt, a zero cost, 3 experience tactic. Commits for a brain, a book, and a fist. Fast. Play when you would draw an encounter card during the Mythos phase. Instead, search the encounter deck for an enemy, spawn and engage with you, attach On the Hunt to it, and shuffle the encounter deck. When you defeat the attached enemy, gain 3 resources. Bryn, you've probably played On the Hunt the most of us, the level 0 version. What are your thoughts on this guy?
So if this is the effect you want, this one's very good. Because the other ones let you search the top 9 cards. And this one is just
The deck.
like the deck. So if you're playing it as a way to find victory enemies or things like that,
Mm-hmm.
then this card is very strong. Depending on who you're playing, also this card kind of does a real solid ward of protection impersonation. Where you're just like, yeah, okay, there are cards that are bad for me to draw out of the deck, but I drew Rat.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And then you get money when you kill it.
Yeah. And then you get money when you kill it.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want the effect, card seems good at that. Like,
Certainly does.
yeah. There's really not much more to say, right? If you just want the effect and you want to find an enemy, you want to kill things, especially like if, as you said, Bryn, if you're victory hunting, right? Or as a poor man's ward of protection, even though it costs 3 experience, it costs 0 resource, so that's poor man's ward of protection. And you're going to be killing things anyway. Yeah. There's a lot there that's good.
Yeah, we've played a lot of games where we're like, if we draw 2 Ancient Evils, we just lose. This is one less card that you have to draw.
Yeah, definitely. Sick. Alrighty. Sweeping Kick. This is a 1 cost, 1 experience, spirit, tactic, trick event, commits for a fist and a foot. Fight. Add your foot to your skill value for this attack. This attack deals +1 damage. If you succeed, automatically evade the attacked enemy. Obviously, this is Gangbusters and Rita. It deals 3 damage or 2 damage in a move. That's really nice there. And it's like starting to makes her a bit more consistent, especially as like a monster fighter. And I think otherwise, if your foot value is like good, like once Bryn started playing Stunning Blow, my gauge for if I think automatically evading during an attack has gone up, and I think this card's just really nice at that. Like if you get an automatic evade out of something you're gonna do that also progresses the game, like attacking, is really good because this also can like work for an elite, right? Like or a massive enemy, and you just go first and you trip Big Butt Baby, and everyone's like, "How did you do that? His butt is so big," and you're like, "Well, because I'm really good." How you have this on the first turn, you probably took in the thick of it, but let's not worry about that. I just think the card's sick. I think Sweeping Kick is really cool.
I also like this one, the idea of this one with Nathaniel Cho. You just see you get in the ring and you sweep the guy's leg, and they're like, "You can't do that," and you're like, "Who's gonna stop me? You?"
I mean, yeah, it seems sick in Nathaniel Cho. Like, does he have 2 or 3 foot? Something like that. One of those numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got 5 punch.
He's got 5 punch too. Like, he doesn't even need a big bonus. Yeah, you're right. And it's a spirit for some reason, so Nathaniel Cho can benefit from it, right?
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah, just to throw that on there. Yeah, card's cool. Card's good. Kill spells I think are very fun, and I love seeing more of them.
You can play this in Rita, hey?
Oh, it's very good in Rita. It's very good in her. Yeah. Because the automatic evade still procs her ability, so it basically is like a Spectral Razor without the engage on it. It's nice. Anything you want to add, Travis?
No, you guys pretty much covered it. This card's cool. I like it. I think it's good.
Sick. Toe to Toe. This is a 0 cost spirit tactic event. Commits for a fist and a foot. Fight. This attack deals +1 damage. This is automatically successful. As an additional cost to perform this attack, the chosen enemy makes an attack against you. Travis, do you have any thoughts on this guy? I'll start with you.
This card is like pretty niche. There's some people who like it. There's some neat things you can do with it. Don't. And this isn't a card you just throw into whatever deck, but like it's good for obviously the characters who care about being attacked. It's nice if you can stack things like Vicious Blows onto it. It's a spirit for boxing glove decks. I think one of the neatest things you can do with this card actually is as a way to trigger succeed by effects for someone like Skids. Being able to automatically succeed tests at level 0 is like
you
pretty
didn't
sweet.
Succeed by any amount then. If you automatically pass the test, you don't. You aren't given a skill value or like a success value for it.
Really? Huh. Automatic failure, so success.
Oh, well, I assume you're looking it up, Travis. I'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one, I like, as Travis says, I think, like, to me, like, obviously in Daniela, this deck is, like, this card's really good at level 0. In Tommy Muldoon, I think this card's also really good. Just because he has the soak for it, and you can turn that into resources and all that for the damage. This is like the Get Behind Me, where you need a plan for what you're going to do with that damage. But, like, just free 2 damage is just really nice. And then if you can do things like add the Vicious Blow to it, it becomes even even juicier because you do get to commit. It's still like a test. You're just automatically successful, but you still get to commit things to it. And like, if your deck is built to tank, this card will find a nice home. And I imagine it'll last longer in your deck than you think it's going to. I think it's really nice. I've played it, as I said, in Daniela and in Tommy, and it's impressed me in both. And I think it also would do well in Nathaniel Cho too, but I think you need like a plan for that horror if the enemy's dealing horror. And maybe that plan is just your brother, right?
Oh, that's very fair. Your brother can definitely take some brain damage for you.
Yeah.
Like that.
Randall,
He's
fight
got
this!
Yeah. No, I believe that you get to compare whatever your skill value is to 0.
Yes, yeah.
It says if an Investigator
All
automatically
right.
succeeds
You
in a test by
told me it didn't work.
I was wrong. You shouldn't trust me on the rules back then, but you should trust me now.
As far as I'm concerned, we have like a Mandela effect. The rules change every freaking like year with this game. Just something new is like, hey, do you remember when you would commit cards to a skill test? That's actually illegal. And we're like, what? I mean, you know better, YouTube. That's just how it is. Yeah, and in that case, it does work really nicely with anything that cares about succeeding by, because, yeah. Anything you want to add, Bryn? Or you just kind of like what we said covered it?
I mean, like, this one works real cool if your goal is to do damage with Guard Dog.
That is true, actually, 100%. Yeah.
You get to scoop advantage of both sets.
That is juicy. Yeah, and then that's what we were saying too. Like you, even actually with that get behind me, right? Like we said like you need like a plan for that damage. If that plan is even just Guard Dog, like that's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It works.
That's it. Those are all the Guardian cards. Nice and easy. Huh. Not 90 minutes this time, only 30. Huge thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. We're going to be back next week to talk about the Seeker cards, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for supporting. If you want to support, go down to the description. You'll find the Patreon there. Comment, what do you think of the cards? Anything we might have missed or something that you want us to, or you think that you could further clarify, or your own thoughts on the cards, let us know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.